And by the way, many of us in City Commission were by the dome waving at you as you left, and I know you didn't even notice us, but that's all right. It was important for us to do it. Whereas the team finished this impressive season with a 13-2 record and now holds the title of Springfield's first team in school history to play in the state championship game. Whereas the Wildcats coaching staff consists of head coach Maurice Douglas, along with an impressive team of coaches who possess many years of continued experience, but we didn't put their names in the proclamation. But thank you to the assistant coach. Now, therefore, I, Warren R. Copeland, Mayor of the City of Springfield, Ohio, and President of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim January 18, 2022 as Springfield Wildcats Football Team Day in Springfield and urge our citizens to recognize the coaches, football players, band, drill team, cheerleaders, student trainers, many other supportive family members, community partners, alumni, and fans who shared in this memorable season. And in witness of this, I have signed it as the Mayor of Springfield, Ohio, and President of the City Commission. I'm going to bring this out and present it. Picture.
That's this exciting. We're gonna all go down.
Yeah,
I'm very proud.
if you want to go ahead and go over there, you can.
Okay.
Well, Cam want to come back up.
Okay, so when you come back up, I know you lost. I just want to.
Yeah, you're going to be in the picture. All the commissioners in the picture. Rob.
All of day. I guess that's all y'all.
Mark, I'm going this way. Hey, Jenna, I wonder if you go back on that one right behind the podium. Oh, that's true.
Okay, you guys are rolling it. Are you ready?
Yeah, I get
Mind, I responded.
And Miss Crystal,
It's okay.
before we start, I want you to hold this in your hand.
Ms. Phillip?
Here.
Mr. Rue?
Here.
Mr. Copeland?
Here. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. God, we're grateful for the opportunity to make decisions for this community. Help us to make them well, make decisions that will move our community forward in all of the ways that it moves. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of the Republic of the nation is liberty. Motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Phillip?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Dr. Estra?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes. Clerk, proceed with first readings by title only.
Confirming and approving a contract with Highbridge Consulting LLC for professional consulting services for an amount not to exceed $24,000 for the period of January 1, 2022 to December 31, 2022. Amending ordinance number 9190, passed March 12, 1991, and commonly known as the codified ordinances of the city of Springfield, Ohio, by repealing and replacing section 147.13 titled Claims. Authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement to release the EDA federal interest in a revolving loan fund award with the United States Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration, EDA, to release the federal interest in the revolving loan fund award number 063902111.
Questions or comments from commissioners on first reading? Mr. Esposito.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just wondering if staff might explain a little more specifically what the item 011-22, what we're doing hiring these consultants.
Yes, Commissioner. So Highbridge Consulting Firm does federal and state research and analysis as it relates to bills that would impact us as a municipality. And so, as we know, over the last really 10 to 15 years, there has been a lot of changes at specifically the state level that directly impact municipalities, whether it be an impact on revenue or an impact on the way we administer a program or a policy. And so Highbridge provides us some additional capacity to develop and analyze and provide research and opinion on bills that are currently, again, at the state or federal level, but their overall impact to us, Springfield as a community, and really municipalities in general.
Make perfectly good sense. Thank you very much. And I was wondering on item 012-22, is that just an update to conform with changes in the state law, or what are the changes that we're talking about?
No, specifically, this is related to the settling of claims that we would have, and this actually increases that amount that is allowed to be settled by Jill as the Director of Law to $10,000 and below without coming to commission. Anything above $10,000 would require commission authorization, and really the $10,000 number comes generally from our insurance deductible, which meets around that $10,000. So Mark and Jill and staff looked at that as a good threshold, that anything below that would allow Jill as the Director of Law to settle, and then anything above that would require commission authorization.
Very good. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone in the audience? Guess there's only one person in the audience. Take a shot at one somewhere along the way, okay?
Hey, Kaylee.
Clerk will proceed with second readings.
Authorizing the law director to approve and settle a claim with the Ohio Bell Telephone Company doing business as AT&T Ohio for the expenses associated with damage that occurred to their property located in the vicinity of 1023 West High Street on or about May 2021, and authorizing the Director of Finance to make payment to the Ohio Bell Telephone Company doing business as AT&T Ohio in the amount of $19,629.93 as full and final settlement for said damage.
So moved.
Second?
Questions or comments? Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Dr. Estrad?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
Providing for supplemental appropriations within various funds and declaring an emergency therein.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions or comments from the commission? From the audience? Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Dr. Estrad?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
Confirming and approving the transfer of monies among various funds and declaring an emergency therein.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions or comments from the commission? From the audience? Clerk will call the roll.
Dr. Estrad?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
Confirming purchases. Okay. Confirming purchases and the obtaining of services for the city and providing for payment therefore and declaring an emergency therein.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions or comments from the commission? The audience? Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Dr. Estrad?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
Authorizing the purchase of a Sutphen custom pumper truck from Sutphen Corporation for an amount not to exceed $548,502 through the HGAC Cooperative Purchasing Program in accordance with the provisions of Section 9.48 of the Ohio Revised Code and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Questions or comments? Chris?
Yes, I was wondering if Chief Miller might give us a little more information about what we're purchasing and what this will either add to or replace.
And Brian, I would also ask just to make sure you include the build time for this so they can see the impact that we're experiencing.
Yes, thanks, Commission. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to you about this evening. This is going to replace Engine 3, which is currently a 1994, 28-year-old fire engine that's stationed on Selma Road. The supply chain issues are real, though. They're projecting a 23-month build time on this apparatus that's extended from what used to be about a 12 to 14-month build. So we're anxiously awaiting at least getting in line to get this processed.
And
Thank you,
commissioners, if you recall, engine 3 is one that we've put off replacing for a period of time because a new engine would not be accommodated in the current Station 3 because of door height. And so with this timing, the 23 months allows, as you know, we are working to build 3 new stations, one on South Limestone Street, one in the area of Kent Burt, and then one most likely on the east side of our community. And so we hope to have a new station to put engine 3 when it comes in done.
Thank you.
We'll have a fire station grand opening and a new fire.
Yes.
Anybody else? Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Dr. Estrad?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Polydyne Incorporated for the purchase of liquid polymer for a period of 1 year with an option to renew for 2 additional 1-year periods for an amount not to exceed $77,400 and declaring an emergency therein.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Seconded. Questions or comments from the commission? From the audience? Clerk will call the roll.
Dr. Estrad?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a subrecipient grant agreement for an urban canopy restoration grant through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, Division of Forestry, in an amount up to $20,000. Authorizing the city manager, director of finance, and law director to perform all acts and execute all documents considered necessary to fulfill the city's obligations under said subrecipient grant agreement and to comply with all relevant local, state, and federal legal requirements and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Questions or comments from the commission?
I'd like to know a little more about what is considered an urban canopy restoration.
Yeah, and I'll ask Chris Moore to speak more specifically to this, but it's related to our forestry division and the annual tree replacement. And this will allow us to maximize the funds that we normally spend and match those with state funds. So, Chris?
Yes, this grant lets us replace trees that we lost due to the emerald ash borer. We've lost a lot of pear trees because we found out that pear trees are an invasive species. We've had to cut those down, and then obviously the windstorms of 2008 and 2012 got us pretty good. So this will allow us to leverage what we spend on trees, get to $20,000 worth of state dollars here, and try to keep us the tree city that we are.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Dr. Estra?
Yes?
Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into amendment number 2 to the contract with Miller's Property Service, LLC, for weed cutting and lot clearing services as needed by the city, to amend the company name to Mike Lawn and Moore, LLC, and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments from the commission? Audience? Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Dr. Estra?
Yes?
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into amendment number 4 to the subrecipient funding agreement, Norm's Place in Hartley House, 2020-2021, with Interfaith Hospitality Network Incorporated, to extend the performance period to June 30, 2022, confirming and approving related expenditures incurred from January 1, 2022, to the passage of this ordinance, and declaring an emergency therein.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions or comments from the commission? Hope the weather isn't too cold and the snow isn't bad, because we have a bunch of folks who are still for not housing. Clerk will call the roll.
Philip?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Dr. Estra?
Yes?
Mr. Copeland?
Yes. That concludes our agenda. Are there other items that come before us from Commissioner? Chris, Rob?
Mayor Commissioner Rue and I had the privilege today of participating in an event at Springfield Beckley Airport that I think foreshadows the future. It featured aerospace, engineering, and technology, and really was about air mobility. It was incredible. We were pleased that Lieutenant Governor John Husted was able to join us. He flew in the 2 simulators, did not crash, did quite a good job, actually.
They didn't let him pilot.
Yeah,
Right.
but it was a great event, and I want to thank Tom Franzen and the other staff members, Seth Timmerman, who helped organize this. It was not our event. We were invited, but it was not our event. But I think it offers a lot of promise given the development of the Springfield Airport in terms of not only economic development, but opportunities for the students and parents and citizens of this community. So it looks like a great opportunity for us. Rob, I don't know if
Yeah,
you
just,
or
I had a
Warren
brief
wanna say-
visit. I was there for a little bit, just to meet the lieutenant governor and be in the couple facilities. I was in the RV, which was impressive, that unit, and then also just seeing the unmanned, kind of being in the cockpit of one of those, UAV. I know cockpit's an old word, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it was really cool, Tom, and I know you have been working on that. It was my first visit to some of those different facilities out there, so it was awesome. Good work with you and your team and everybody that's been jumping in there. And if you have anything to add, feel free if you want to highlight the day or either. I know that it's running really late right now.
You were the one that wanted to finish it.
I don't want to buy ice cream, so that's why I want Tom to talk.
Mayor Copeland joined us as well out there, but it was a nice event. Really, it was for the committee. I always screw up the title of this committee. I see you guys avoided it, so you wouldn't mess it up. But it's Aerospace and Aviation Technology Committee. I think that was it. Representative Holmes is the chairman of that committee. So they came out today to see what was happening out at Springfield Airport around advanced air mobility. So really that committee's charged with looking at the state's assets around aerospace and aviation, how we can collectively work together to promote these assets around Ohio to bring jobs and manufacturing to the state. So we welcome that visit today. I think it went very well. Plus, Lieutenant Governor got to get some experience in the flight sims, which I think you can talk about this stuff all day long, but until you get out there and experience it, I think it's definitely worthwhile. And we're going to get something scheduled too for the commissioners to get out there and spend some time. But thank you very much for coming out.
The two things I think that even the governor, lieutenant governor asked in the one vehicle was, what could be the economic impact for Ohio, for our area? And they highlighted manufacturing of these items, drones. Is that right? And bringing those
Absolutely.
jobs to the
Yeah,
area?
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, bringing.
In part of my briefing there, it's where we started as a city in supporting this effort was around economic development.
Yeah, of course.
So first it was supporting the UAVs, but then now the eVTOLs. But the center of it is focused on manufacturing and that job opportunity. And so as this industry matures, we're in the research and development testing phase now into prototyping. We're just now getting to that point of manufacturing. And by establishing these relationships with these companies now, they're going to start looking at Ohio a lot more than they were before. So a lot of them, when they come here, had no idea anything about Ohio, right? They're developing these products in California or out on the other coast. So by bringing this testing and R&D here, we're opening their eyes to the possibilities of Midwest and certainly to Ohio, and it's really given us an opportunity and a shot for this manufacturing.
And the uniqueness of our airspace is the fact that it's more common airspace that these vehicles have to fly in than being just on the coastal areas. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. They call it sanitized space. So if they're in special airspace that the FAA has approved, it's either at a Air Force range or something where there's not other traffic involved. And so the unique aspect of our airspace is obviously you have Cessnas, you have C-17s from Wright Pat, you have lots of air traffic running through the airspace at Springfield. So the COA, that certificate of authorization from the FAA, has granted us the opportunity to fly up to 10,000 feet in a 225 square mile area above the airport, unmanned, which is huge. And there's no restriction too. So these other areas around the country have restrictions where you have to maybe fly a chase plane behind the unmanned system, or maybe you have just a small corridor where you can fly them. So here it's unlimited, also unlimited in size, which is the other big, unique kind of quality of our airspace.
It was a really palatable presentation to be able to just to understand. You have no idea about drones and aerospace and all that stuff. I got a little more understanding of it today for sure. So
I think what was exciting too, I think you got to see too, was all the partners that are involved in this. So the city of Springfield certainly has been the host of this activity, but none of it would be possible without the partnership. State of Ohio, Ohio Department of Transportation, Ohio UAS Center, Fly Ohio, Dayton Development Coalition, the governor's office. It goes on, and certainly our universities too, Clark State, Sinclair, University of Dayton. We could go on, but
on.
the partners that have touched this over the 10, 12-year period is enormous, and I think it's good to see it finally come to fruition.
I must say, Tom, today I was very impressed to see a federal government representative, including the Air Force, small little outfit, state representation and local, all working together. And I think that one of the things that's great about Springfield is, given our location between Wright Pat and Dayton and Columbus and the access to it, it just worked. And we saw that today, and I was so impressed with the attitude and the communications among and between all of the various organizations there, as well as some of the vendors. It was very impressive. So thank you for including us in that.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming out.
So way back when, I was a part of an effort to try to keep a flying unit there. Turns out not doing that turned out to be much better than winning. So sometimes losing pays off.
Good crystal ball decision.
And we owe Tom a really thank. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be humble. That's all right. Because getting this declaration of space means we've got a big chunk of air up there where there won't be competition. So therefore, you don't have to worry about running into an airplane or whatever. More importantly, the airplane, which might have people in it, running into whatever you're flying. So getting all of that set up, Tom was right in the middle of that. He's going to just be humble, but we're not going to let him. Has really created an economic opportunity for this community. which is hard to match because most other communities of any size are in the airspace of some airport, and therefore they can't do this kind of stuff. So it's really making a plus out of what we thought was a minus. So congratulations, Tom. I was busy working at Whitburg on something, and then I turned my computer a different direction and discovered I was supposed to be somewhere else 25 minutes ago. I probably could have been picked up speeding a little bit getting from Wittenberg to the airport. But I got there for a period of time and sort of saw what was going on. And then I left. Then you came. So three of us, and Dave was there the most.
Right.
So this is really a positive possibility for turning a failure into a success. Thanks for working hard on it. Well, see, we're a part of you going too much time.
I didn't want to.
Anyone else? Anyone in the audience want to speak? If you're employed by the city, you can't speak. But,
Wow.
okay. Their motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
It's been, all right. Moved and seconded. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Dr. Estra?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland?
Yes. Meeting is adjourned.